Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very special guest for the fourth time. I like to count, by the way. Josh Holliday, the head baseball coach at Oklahoma State, joins OkState Daily. And Coach, thank you so much for joining. Great weekend. Not as great of a night last night, so just kind of give us a state of affairs here.
Yeah, well, I need to go back and work in order. Friday night game was a typical Friday night matchup. Harrison went out and pitched a fabulous game. It was good baseball behind him. Their lefty pitched a nice game. He'd been a very effective lefty throughout the year. You look at his starts against some really good ball clubs dating back to Arkansas, LSU, some of the teams he'd faced, he'd been really tough. So good matchup of two good lefties. Harrison obviously was very much up for the challenge, pitched beautifully, pitched deep into the game. Big win for us. Obviously, the late innings, Mario did a good job of knocking off the eighth and taking us to the end there. Couldn't quite get the last out. Blaker came in, wasn't feeling his pitches like he needed to. We had to go to the bullpen in a little bit of an unpredictable moment with Hunter Watkins. And he came in and delivered and got the last out. So the first night, the Friday night win was big. Saturday, frigid, cold, tough night to try to put the kids out there, knowing that Sunday was a nicer day. Both coaches agreed Sunday'd be a better day for baseball, and it was. It was a beautiful day.
It was.
Good baseball up and down. Sean Youngerman was the story. Dominant performance, good offense around it. And then the way we took on Game 3, to take the second game of that doubleheader and have some edge to us, and Hunter pitched well, was really a strong statement by our team. And a lot of good things there, a lot of things to be proud of for sure, in particular for us as a team, just a real positive step forward. So a lot of energy went into Sunday, and kids fought hard, they fought proudly, they competed well, and that was an important weekend for us. You have to turn the page quickly. Each one of these weeks represents a different challenge for us. And as you shift, Monday was a recovery day coming off of a lot of baseball. The Tuesday game against Oral Roberts, the Tuesday games in our region just continue to be challenges because of the quality play.
Yeah, right.
Missouri State's and Oral Roberts's, Wichita State's, Oklahoma's, Dallas Baptist's. The geographic 4 to 6 hour range with which we can create a quality schedule, just has a lot of really good baseball teams. And those Tuesday games, oftentimes coming off the weekend where you empty the tank pretty much day in, day out, both with your energy to play and then obviously your frontline pitching. You got to put together a creative pitch plan, and you need to play well behind them. We weren't able to do that on Tuesday. Oral Roberts took advantage of a few of our mistakes, and it was a good ball game late, but we just made too many mistakes. That's all there is to it. The fundamentals of the game they're paramount, and when you give up some extra touches, create extra opportunities, don't put the ball in play, and don't do some of the things that you know are part of winning baseball, you cannot expect to win. And so we didn't do enough right on Tuesday. That being said, we have to learn from that. Figure out how to be more consistent coming off the weekend and be ready for those important midweek games.
A couple of tough questions here. Can you take us back through the decision-making process of taking Mario out in that first game on Friday? That had to be tough as a coach to take out a guy that's a strike thrower in that situation. And then do you have any regrets waiting this long to put Sean Youngerman in the rotation?
Well, I think where we were at is we felt really good about where Drew was throwing, how Drew had been throwing the ball. And it was a good matchup there, especially as the game brought the tying run to the plate. Obviously looking back, it didn't play out as we envisioned it, but we felt like it was the right move at the right time to use our guys effectively and to match up. That's why we had Drew down there, paired up with Mario.
Yeah.
The ballpark was playing somewhat favorably right down the right field line, but not as favorable to left. And so if you can get left on left and keep the ball away, the park doesn't give you much to hit to. So we thought it was a good fit. It just didn't quite line up the way we envisioned it. So, you make good matchup decisions kind of in your preparation, and you anticipate if things were to land here, what direction might we go. And that was more of a move of confidence in Drew than it was a lack of confidence in Mario. But Hunter came in and picked him up. That's what good teams do. That's what good pitching staffs do. So that happens from time to time. But we felt like we were in a good spot there. We had the guys in position. We just didn't quite execute the way we had envisioned it. The question you asked about Sean, each week you're trying to put together the best pitch plan you can to win the games one at a time. And with a little bit of the unknowns that we've been facing with Lund and Gabe Davis, two of our premium arms that would fit either in rotation or at the back end, we needed Sean as a way to win each game that we had control of.
Yes.
And the previous weekend, if you look back at the Kansas game in day 2, Sean would have been the game's restarter had he not pitched in game 2 in Lawrence. As it played out, we got to the lead late, and just a crazy back and forth game. But we got him, 3 innings there, trying to put a win in the win column. So he's had enough touches in some of those weekends to say, hey, he fits down there. But then obviously needing to get to him more often, and that's how we put him back into the rotation. So yeah, it's a great question. Those questions you ask yourself, questions that you're managing.
That's the fun part of it.
Sure. Well, and it's the challenge, and it's also, I think as time's gone on, the desire to try to get Gabe back in the fold if health allows. He's probably the best fit late in the game in shorter duration. And so we've been trying to put the pieces to the puzzle together, and at times the pieces fit perfectly, and they just click.
Sometimes it's the whack-a-mole, right?
And sometimes it's foggy. It's hard to see exactly how they may lay together. So great questions, great baseball questions, strategy questions, and questions that you ask yourself all the time, and certainly those that follow us closely.
Scoreboard was tilted second game Sunday, but it felt like for Matthew Brown, freshman out of Canada, the care factor's off the charts. Although the scoreboard, you had a pretty good lead there. Struggled a little bit, got through it. That kind of felt like that eureka moment for him, like, oh, okay, well, I can do this type of thing. Maybe a grow-up moment?
Yeah. He's done a really good job. I want to say this is 3 or 4 straight times now. He had a midweek start. He's had a clean outing out of the bullpen multiple times where he's getting 2 and 3 inning chunks of 40 and 50 and 60 pitches and starting to repeat his delivery, quality strikes, concentrate extremely well. You mentioned the care level. He's a highly competitive kid.
Yes.
He's a kid from Canada that in his junior year of high school was the top arm up in Canada, which that's saying something. Obviously, baseball's grown dramatically, and he was kind of the workhorse of that younger group of Team Canada kids. Went out, spent his senior year of high school down at Academy in South Carolina to continue to pursue more baseball, more weather, more opportunities. And got a little off track, I think, health-wise and strike-throwing-wise as a senior. Coming into the fall, obviously we were thrilled to get him to campus. We thought he had some draft risk to him. Made some good adjustments. His velocity ticked back up. I think his confidence ticked back up. And Coach Walton's done a great job with him of kind of getting him, as a true freshman that doesn't have a ton of innings under his belt, if you will, to execute his pitches, and he's pitching very effectively right now. So real positive step for him. You look at some of the touches in the last week, Brown freshman, Stormy Rhodes, who we need to get back into that groove that he found early, Weck, those young right-handers. And then last night, Jed Hope gets in, Cash Ferris gets in, some more young arms getting in there. And obviously Lund early before some shoulder stiffness. It's a good group of freshman pitchers. It's probably the most contribution we've gotten from true freshmen in a while. That's an important part of reestablishing a base of your pitching staff that you can then complement and build upon. The last 5 or 6 years has been a changing dynamic in the roster building and management, especially when it comes to starting pitching.
Right.
The age of the college game has gone up. A lot more 22 and 23-year-olds playing college baseball. The experience level is up. And a lot of teams have played quite old and have gotten quite old. And that's stymied and blocked a lot of the development of younger players. And then you find yourself in a cycle of trying to stay old for fear of what it would look like if you played young. And you can see at times the growth that takes place while youth is working its way into experienced talent. So to see these younger pitchers having some good touches. You mentioned Matthew growing right there. That was a great step in the right direction, and part of the patience and some of the patience is a good word that you have to grow some guys up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had several games to where we bunt the ball, we put the ball in play, we play clean defense, we throw strike one, we throw strike three. Then we have games like last night, where you strike out 19 times, maybe 17 times, 15 times. So I'm sure if you absolutely could nail it down, what's the difference between the good version of this team and the version sometimes we get where you strike out too much or make too many errors? What is the difference here? I mean, what do you see as a coach that's the difference between the good and the bad?
Fantastic question. Very much something that on a daily basis as a coach, you're constantly in tune with, looking for the answers to your questions, identifying mental processes, physical processes. Sometimes it's the matchup. Sometimes it's personnel. Sometimes there could be some fatigue. You have to be realistic about what all those possibilities are.
Yeah.
Last night's game, far too many strikeouts, period. No questions asked. A little bit of personnel, a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of matchup, but none of which are excuses. They're just things you have to identify to answer your question. Is to overreact would be what the game can cause you to do in frustration. I've definitely been guilty of overreacting in my career. That's part of being a competitor. What you seek to become is properly reactive instead of overreactive, and try to get to solutions. That would be the goal of every effective coach, is to get to solutions quickly, solutions that can be implemented and adjusted to as quickly as possible on behalf of your players. The days of ranting and raving and yelling and screaming are quite honestly tired and over. I'm responsible for the kids. I love them. We chose them. We recruited them. We embraced them. We believe in them. Turning on your players or acting frustrated or angry at them is a transfer of blame quality that I don't have, and neither does our program. So it's to work with them and grow them and stay by them and prepare them better, help them have the confidence and courage at times that maybe they don't have yet, and just be there. But again, it is... at times you feel like you're getting some traction and some growth, and that it might start to stick and lay down, and then you have a game where it's elusive. That's why the game is hard. It brings you back for more. It's why we show up each day and pour ourselves back into the process and look for ways to grow through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great answer there. So update on, of course, we'd love to have Avery out there at shortstop. We'd love to have Aiden. We know he's out for the year. Colin Ritchie went down with a little bit of a shoulder deal, and then Gabe Davis. Can you give us an update on them?
Yeah, it's been tough. The injuries hit me really hard emotionally as a coach, because I know they're hitting the kids that way, and it's hard when you watch kids prepare and put so much into this when they get hurt, because you know how hard it is at their age to deal with being hurt. And so as a coach, I still have not mastered the reaction when one of them gets hurt, because I feel the punch in the gut that I know they're feeling. Aiden's out and will be out for the year. Avery is started to slowly heal. It's been a lengthy process. We'll be without Colin Ritchie for a time. We'll be without Alex Conover for time. No Ethan Lund for a period of time, and no Gabe Davis for a period of time. So those are tough ones. I mean, those are 6 of the most talented kids on our roster from a physical gift standpoint. So next man up, opportunity presents itself. Someone gets a chance to walk into that space that otherwise maybe wouldn't have. The challenges continue to be real, and we have to embrace them. There's really no other way to do it, and that's what this particular season has in store for us, as a continued chance to see what we're made of. Hopefully those kids continue to heal. They're getting great medical care, and hopefully time will return some of those guys to the fold.
So after you maybe don't win a game or don't play as well as you'd like, the natural reaction is, by God, we're going to get in the cages, we're going to practice for 5 hours the next day, that kind of deal. when in reality you need the day off and you have to take the day off on Monday and on Wednesday. How do you fight that urge?
Well, you know that physical, emotional, and mental recovery is necessary to get ready for the next game and the next series. So the discipline to know that the kids need that. Physically, they need it. And they're college students. They have homework. They're people. Yeah. They have needs and things that they are also held responsible for. And I think that's something that I know our fans and supporters are wonderful because they do appreciate the college student athlete, even though our perception of what a college student athlete maybe has changed somewhat. These young men and the young ladies on this campus, they go to school, they're pursuing degrees, they're taking full course loads. A lot of our kids are taking really difficult classes. They're growing up as people and mentally, emotionally, and physically at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. It's a transformational time of your life. So they have a lot going on in addition to being athletes and in addition to being baseball players. These guys are growing as people, and so they need some room to do that too. And so, yes, as much as we focus on the performance and the games and the spotlight, and that is also part of what the athlete has sought over the time is that focus and attention, right? So it kind of goes both ways. But our boys are they're doing their work and they're grinding through it. They're growing up. And they need some time every now and then to do that. And so the days off are good. And sometimes they can be good for the grown-ups too. Just to make sure that you're keeping your balance, keeping your mindset right. So
last time we were in Arizona was 2021. It was Max Hewitt's last game, I believe. I can remember that hug like it was yesterday. Max, I love Max. He's one of my most respected Oklahoma State baseball players of all time, and I've been coming here for a minute. So
Max Hewitt emptied the tank here.
He sure did. He sure did. So can you give us just a brief synopsis? I know you haven't done all your research yet. It's Wednesday, but what you know about Arizona?
Obviously, I know their coaching staff. Their past couple years have been awfully good.
Yeah.
Tucson is a warm place. It's going to be in the hundreds, so the temperature will be different and a challenge. It's a big park. It's typically dry, hot, and those usually lead to bouncy, challenging conditions that we'll need to be ready for. A couple of excellent hitters, a couple of excellent pitchers. Once again, unique opportunity in this particular season to travel to Salt Lake. First time, right. New conference member, travel to Tucson, first time, new conference member, and if I'm not mistaken, there's a trip to Cincinnati. So 3 new places, 3 long trips, 3 different environments. We had a pretty good working knowledge of the core Big 12 trips there for that 12, 13-year window where it was pretty much, alternating schedule and same trips back and forth. And so these are new challenges, new places to go, new opportunities to capture. But I think it'll be a great challenge. I think they're very good, and we just got to keep pushing. That's all there is to it. Our guys know that. We've been pushing since day one. So stay with us. Keep pushing the boys along. Keep rooting for them. You'd be proud of the effort that's going into this and proud of the resiliency that's being developed inside of the team.
Josh Holliday, straight up, brother. Thank you so much.
You got it.